Welcome, my brothers and sisters, my sons and daughters. My name is Elder George, and today we bring you part 4 of the 7-part series of the 7 major issues affecting our society. Today's segment is titled The Collapse of the American Educational System. The collapse of our educational system is of such a magnitude that in the 9 minutes for this movie, the best I can do is touch on a few of the highlights and suggest that you see a fuller treatment of this subject on my website, mensaction.net. Look under A Message from Elder George. You will see a fuller treatment of this subject. Education was normally a family affair, and children were taught the traits and given the knowledge necessary to help sustain the family. Farmers taught their children how to farm. Fishermen taught their children how to fish. But now that we have destroyed the family, education has become institutionalized, and our children are not learning anything relevant to the betterment of society. Our educational system does not serve the needs of society in any way, and it definitely does not develop critical thinking amongst our students. During the election campaign, the emphasis was on international affairs and the economy, and yet it is the education of our youth that most affects our society, because they're the next generation. Those are the values that the next generation are picking up. Excuse me. To give you an idea as to how little our students learn, a statistic distributed by the National Association of Scholars indicates that a test given to high school students, high school graduates, a test given to high school graduates 55 years ago, when given to college seniors 5 years ago, resulted in lower scores by the college seniors. To present these figures in practical terms, it means that if you are a college senior, chances are that your grandmother or great-grandmother who graduated from high school knows more than you do. She could write, think, and speak better. And she could darn a sock and dress a chicken as well. I will share with you one of my own observations of a recent college graduate I met on the subway. She had been an English major in York College in Queens, New York. I asked her if she had read Cervantes, Boccaccio, Rabelais, and Turgenev, and she said to me, "Who are those people?" I said, "They're some of the greatest Western writers." I said, "Did you read Walt Whitman?" She said, "Who is he?" I said, "He's probably the greatest American poet." And she asked me, "What did he write?" I said, "Well, most of his works can be found in the book Leaves of Grass." She said, "I never heard of it." Now, this is an English major, but don't go away. It gets worse. In my lectures, I try to show people that women are noun people and men are verb people, and I lead into it by using examples of their language. I couldn't do it with this woman because she didn't know the difference between an adjective and an adverb and a noun. And this woman might someday be a teacher of English to your children. She did say that she's moving on and perhaps will get an advanced degree in psychology. Lucky for her or lucky for us. John Gatto, you might remember John Gatto. He was Teacher of the Year in New York City in 1990 and Teacher of the Year in New York State in 1991. He wrote the well-known book, Dumbing Us Down. He indicates in his book that if the schools were closed altogether, it would probably serve our youth better than keeping them open. I'll refer to John Gatto again later in this talk. Whether the info comes from the National Association of Scholars or from an educator like John Gatto or my own observations, it indicates that the academic level of students at all grade levels has decreased and continues to do so. The standard remedies prescribed for this condition are smaller class sizes, improved teaching equipment, and of course, higher paid and better qualified teachers. The American penchant for throwing money at a problem does not work with education. It really doesn't work with much else either. The Washington, D.C. school system serves as an example of the ineffectiveness of throwing money at educational problems. In the early 1990s, it had the highest pupil expenditure for education, the lowest pupil-teacher ratio in the nation, the sixth highest paid teachers in the nation, and a per capita aid for education that surpasses the national average by 250%. The results of these expenditures were that on-time graduation ranked 49th in the nation. Math proficiency for 2nd and 8th graders ranked last in the nation. And reading proficiency for 4th graders ranked last in the nation. More money spent on education had no noticeable effect on academic performance in the Washington, D.C. school system. A factor that does have an effect on academic performance is having fathers at home. Children who have fathers at home have half the dropout rate as those who don't. Teenage pregnancy is also cut in half when there are fathers at home. And general academic performance rises when there are fathers at home. Positive values and a positive environment come from the family. But the family is under siege. Getting back to John Gatto, he also points out the benefit of family regarding education. He also states that in the growth of human society, families came first, communities second, and only much later did institutions develop. He says that the United States has become a society of institutions, which is what I said at the opening of this movie. Consequently, the value structure that our children are taught is not family-oriented. The extended family structure is called patriarchy. Men make patriarchy. No men, no patriarchy. No patriarchy, no family. No family, no values, and no learning. If you want children to learn better, give them a home to live in with a man in it and the government out of it. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to check out our website at mensaction.net. Let me hear from you. Until then, I send you my love.